Welcome, all you fans of art, comics, and maybe even me. You've just signed up to start your journey with me on my personal road to improving as an artist. And honestly, I can't thank you enough for being here. Art and education are the two things in this world I truly enjoy, and may even have a knack for, pun intended. Starting this newsletter, turned into video for YouTube, is the realization of me bringing those two worlds together in a way that I believe will benefit all parties involved. But if you've never heard of me before, or aren't yet sure why I'm the one you should be learning from, give me a few minutes of your time to make my case. My trouble with tutorials. Have you ever wanted to learn something? So you go onto the internet and search through mountains of free videos, how-tos, and guides, only to come away half the time with the feeling that you didn't really learn anything? Because I sure have. A lot. And it wasn't until I gained real experience in the education sphere and pursued a degree in education that I finally realized what so many tutorials by random professionals are missing: an understanding of what it truly means to teach. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who is clearly passionate and knowledgeable about something? They're tons of fun to listen to, but halfway through, you realize you have completely lost the thread on what they're trying to explain. It's not entirely their fault. The problem is, they've become such an expert on their topic that they've forgotten how to speak about it at a beginner level. Having experience as an educator doesn't fix this, though. I once had a calculus teacher who was clearly in love with math, but I spent that entire semester teaching myself calculus from the book because, try as I might, I could not understand half of what he was trying to tell me. He clearly got it. He was clearly very skilled and knowledgeable. But if the dissatisfied and confused mutterings of my fellow classmates proved anything, it's that being passionate and being able to communicate effectively are two very, very different things. And this is the pit into which, in my opinion, most tutorials fall. Most tutorials out there are either constructed at too high a level to be truly accessible to beginners, or the person giving the tutorial isn't as effective at communicating as they could be. Or a third option I've seen many times as well: the information provided is so surface level as to be unusable outside of copying material. What do I mean by copying material? I'm talking about tutorials where if you copy exactly what they did, you will end up with something like what they made, but you will be incapable of applying those skills in any other situation. I used to teach people how to write code. I saw this a lot. Follow a tutorial, copy and paste in their code, and it will work, but if you want to make any adjustments to it, you will be unable to because you don't actually understand what the code is doing. Art tutorials can fall into the same trap. You could be shown how to draw something at a single angle very well, but as soon as you try to adjust that angle, you realize you don't know how. These are tutorials that are good at getting you to an exact result, but aren't good at truly teaching you how to do it yourself. One of my pet peeves when I open an art tutorial book is seeing pages and pages of the artist showing off that they know how to draw something, but never explaining how they know how to draw it. Any art book that contains a page of just examples of armor, or a bunch of drawings of fur, feathers, and claws, and then fails to explain anything about what makes those things look how they do, instantly gets put back on the shelf for me. They look great, sure. That artist definitely knows how to draw armor and feathers, but they sure don't know how to teach me how to do it too. And that's what brings me here today. I'm frustrated. I've tried time and again to learn how to do certain things in my drawings, and most of the time I get to the end of a tutorial and realize I just wasted 20 minutes of my life. I think to myself, if I had the skills to do what these people can, I would make a much better tutorial. Well, I'm here to put my money where my mouth is. My only problem, I still don't think my art is at the level I want it to be. That could be imposter syndrome talking, that could be legitimate fact. Ask a non-artist, they think my work is great. Ask a professional, they'll probably have notes. That's where I place my current skills as an artist. I'm okay. But that actually works to my advantage. Am I passionate about art? Yeah. Will I bore you to death with a bunch of high-level talk and a showcase of skills without an explanation of how I got those skills? Nope, because I can't. I am here to learn. I am here to improve my skills as an artist. And I am here to share that journey with you in as clear a way as I possibly can using all the tools I've picked up as an educator over the years. A brief introduction. If you haven't dozed off through my diatribe about my problems with tutorials, thank you. These newsletters are going to be wordy. You'll need to take several minutes out of your lives each week to get through them. If that's your jam, and I've sold you on the concept of learning with me, then great, let's get to it. If I haven't, thanks for listening this far anyway, but I hope you'll stick around and give me a chance to prove myself. So who am I? I'm NiccoKnack, or Nicole if we're being personal and you take half a second to read my website URL. And this newsletter will be nothing if not personal, so call me Nicole. I've been an on-again, off-again artist since I was 8 years old and drawing my first ocelot for my 3rd grade class's rainforest mural. I remember getting so many compliments on it that in a state of inflated ego, I drew a couple dozen more on notebook paper, my first ever prints if you will, and left them on the table for anyone to take. I don't think anyone ever did, but I was hooked from that moment on. From there, I would go on to be known by many monikers. The girl who draws animals, the girl who draws cats, the girl who draws anime, college art student, and finally, hey Nicole, you can draw, right? Can you make something for the company? I then made the rather bold decision to quit my day job and become a full-time comic artist with next to no audience and no idea if or when I would ever see an income from my work. And you know what? That was easily one of the best years of my life I got to spend happily drawing the days away, minus the made no income part. But after a year of drawing my comic, it became clear to me that a year of drawing and writing had done something. I'd improved rapidly in that time. See, for most of my years prior, I drew art and I studied art, but I rarely took the time to truly actively engage with my art and challenge myself to be better. And this comic challenged me in ways I had never experienced before. That experience is what brings me to today. As of the time of writing this, I'm about to post an announcement to my comic declaring that I'm taking a break. And when I come back, I'm going to restart the comic with better art, better writing, better everything. Because I have gotten better, and I'm already exploding with ideas on how to improve the series. But first, I'm taking the time I need to study. Yes, I've gotten better, but I can be even better. And I know if I take some time and work on my skills first, then when that first chapter of the remake comes out, it is going to be glorious. And what better way to keep myself accountable, motivated, and build up a bit of an audience than by making my journey public? And that's what brings us here. Welcome to the NiccoKnack Newsletter. I promise you art, updates, tutorials, and an unfiltered view of what happens when an artist turned educator turned back to artist applies themselves. And along the way, I hope you will learn a few things about art, comic making, or even just reveling in the comfort of knowing someone else is out there trying to improve. So, thank you again for joining me on this journey. I promise to be educational and entertaining. And if I'm ever not, I'd love to hear from you on how you think I could improve. Seriously, I take all feedback to heart. And if there's something you want to see or something you feel I didn't explain well enough, tell me and I'll see to it as soon as possible. Currently, the best way to contact me is through the contact page on my website linked below. Drop by anytime you have something you want to say to me. My inbox is always open. It's going to be a long road ahead. My game plan is to have a new email in your inbox every week with a summary of what I've been working on the week before, what I've learned, and exclusive looks at my ever-improving art. If you're coming from having read my comic, you'll get updates on the progress of the remake whenever I have them. And since I decided to turn this into a YouTube video too, just know that you listeners will always be a week behind. That gives me time to record my ranting, get it into a video, and get it up on YouTube. If you want the fresh, hot updates and aren't afraid of a little reading, subscribe to my newsletter using the link below. And if you just want to hear me read my newsletter to you, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you know when the next update is out. Till next week.